everyone, welcome to Epic Speak, where I help you engage in better English conversations. Consider this scenario. It's your first time meeting with an offshore client. He introduces himself to your team as John Smith and launches into the project details. You want to ask him a question, but you're confused. You don't know if you should call him John or Smith or Sir or whatever. It's frustrating and confusing, so you just keep quiet. Do you face this dilemma? If so, this video is going to help you, because in this video, I'm going to talk about how to address people at work. Whether you're writing an email or want to start a conversation with a colleague or a client, you need to understand how to address or call them first. You don't want to say the wrong thing and offend them unwittingly. By the end of this video, you will learn about first names, last names, and get a clear picture of how to address people at work. So let's dive in. To make this lesson more relatable, I'm going to use our beloved Harry Potter as an example. I'm sure you all have either read about him or watched his movies. Harry James Potter is Harry's full name. Harry is his first name. James is his middle name, and Potter is his family name, also called last name, a name that he shares with other members of his family. Harry's friends, Ron and Hermione, call him Harry. You call somebody by their first name if they are close to you, like a friend or a family member. Professor Dumbledore and Hagrid also call him Harry because even though they're not Harry's friends, they feel very close to him. Now let's talk about Draco Malfoy here for a second. Draco is Harry's peer. He's the same age as Harry, but he does not call him Harry. He calls him Potter. You call somebody by their last name if you want to maintain a certain level of formality. When you want to say, I know you, we work together, or we study together, but we are not friends. When you want to maintain a certain level of civility, formality, you use the last name. Now, Harry is also called Mr. Potter by people who have respect for him, who think of him as some sort of hero. You add a Mr. or Miss with the last name to add respect. When speaking to clients or people of a higher rank, like your boss, use Mr. with the last name. For example, it would be wrong to say Mr. John Smith. You can call him John, or you can call him Smith, or you can call him Mr. Smith, but not Mr. John Smith when you're addressing him. If you're addressing a woman, you can use Ms., whether she is married or unmarried. It's Ms. So if you're confused as to what to call your client, you can address him as Mr. Smith. Sometimes they are not very formal and they will ask you to call them by their first name. For example, if you say, may I ask a question, Mr. Smith? He might say, please call me John. And then you can go ahead and call him by his first name. But you should always wait for them to extend that invitation or invite you to call them by their first name. You should not take the liberty of calling someone by their first name if they are not your friends. When you meet your colleagues for the first time, be civil and call them by their last name. And as you get to know each other better, you can use first names. If you're making phone calls at work and you want to build rapport with prospective customers before selling something, you might want to ask, may I call you by your first name? Always ask permission before you call someone by their first name, especially at work, or if they are higher in rank. Some people have titles like a doctor, or professor. And in such cases, it's always advisable to call them by their title. So you can call them Dr. Smith or Professor Smith. They would appreciate it because people have to work really hard to get a doctorate or a PhD. So, things to remember. If you know someone really well, if they're your friends or members of your family, use the first name to address them. If you want to be polite, if you want to be formal, use the last name. If you want to be respectful, like when speaking to a boss or a client, use Mr. or Ms. with the last name. If you know of any titles that they have, preferably use the titles like doctor or professor. When in doubt, it's always better to be polite and be safe than to be sorry later. Hope you found this video helpful. For more such amazing lessons, watch these videos here. I will see you soon.